Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Huge news. They just had the European version of CinemaCon. They screened Avengers 4 and Captain Marvel footage, and it is game changer. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's a new round of that Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. The big news is they screened a scene between Ant-Man and Iron Man where Ant-Man explains to Iron Man that they have technology that will allow them to go into different realities and grab the Infinity Stones. So this just got like one layer deep. Also, it syncs up with what Evangeline Lilly, the Wasp, said recently when she said that Avengers 4 feels a lot like Lost Season 4. That was the season where you got to see multiple realities. The technology that Ant-Man is talking about is obviously something that we're probably going to learn about during Ant-Man and the Wasp. And what have we seen in all of those trailers? This is where Kevin Feige sort of brings it all together and says, aha, see what we did there? So the Ghost phases through different dimensions because she was blasted with energy from the quantum realm.
We unleash something powerful. We call her the Ghost. She could destroy the world.
You know, I'm an Avenger now.
So there's this big accident during Ant-Man and the Wasp you've seen in the trailers. She gets her powers, but part of that idea is that as she phases through different dimensions, she's essentially crossing over into other realities while she's walking around on our Earth. We've all seen the scenes with Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America in his original Avengers costume with Ant-Man standing there. They all have really weird devices on their wrists. We're like, what do those do? They're all wearing them. Maybe it has something to do with them traveling back into time. It sounds like these devices are what enable them to travel into the alternate realities if this description of the footage is correct. Now, obviously, they're probably not going to screen this anytime soon. They're not in any rush to release any trailers, but the Russos did say when these pictures leaked out a long time ago that, hey, you know, this is something that we did during Civil War, so they were implying that it was the BAR-effing technology. So it might be happening in these scenes here, like just to give it more context now with all this new information in the footage, is that Iron Man uses the BAR-effing technology to learn where the gems are, where they need to get them, so they'd have to search their memories. They plan their heist, then they go into the alternate realities. And if you've heard Chris Hemsworth's recent comments about how Avengers 4 is supposed to be even more shocking than Infinity War, more shocking than half of all life being erased in the universe.
Tony. There was no other way.
Them dimension hopping Rick and Morty style through time and space to their previous adventures in alternate realities to grab Infinity Stones certainly fits that bill.
This universe is only one.
So if you're not a big Rick and Morty fan, they travel through dimensions, they don't travel through time. But imagine, through their actions, Iron Man and the Avengers, Cronenberg, the MCU. So what is Rick Sanchez's plan of last resort, the most extreme scenario? He just bails and goes to an alternate reality where things aren't so bad.
You gotta fix this, Rick!
All right, Morty. You know, we are in a pretty deep hole here, but I do have one emergency solution that I can use that'll kind of put everything back to normal, relatively speaking. All right, Morty, here we are. There's an infinite number of realities, Morty, and in a few dozen of those, I got lucky and turned everything back to normal.
This makes you think of all kinds of Doctor Strange multiverse twists. There's been 2 movies where they've specifically called out the idea of the multiverse. There's Doctor Strange, where he legit traveled through all those different dimensions. Then during Ant-Man and the Wasp, when he goes into the microverse. They call it the quantum realm because the microverse is a Marvel thing, but somebody else owns that IP. I think it's Hasbro, because the Micronauts are the characters that belong to the microverse, and they own the rights to do a Micronauts movie. So that's why Marvel is calling the microverse of the MCU the quantum realm. But that's what it is. There are things that are alive down there. It's an alternate source of energy. Obviously, something blasts the Ghost to give her abilities. But doesn't it all make sense why Ant-Man and the Wasp is happening between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4, and how Kevin Feige is so smart in getting people to go see it? Like, oh, you know, just a fun adventure, something to lighten the mood after that real bummer of an ending during Infinity War. But also, there's a really important concept that we're going to be using during Avengers 4 that you won't really understand unless you go to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, aha, see what they did there. And that also, like them going to alternate realities, can explain how they would incorporate Fox X-Men IP. Because you've done so many things teasing the multiverse, wouldn't it make sense that they would close down the first 10 years of Marvel movies by actually showing you how crazy things can get in these alternate realities? Like, oh, hey, see this thing over here that you never thought that we'd do in a movie? Well, it's happening over in this alternate universe. And I know a lot of you are asking about this new Comcast twist in the Disney-Fox deal. So if you're not sure what's going on, why people were freaking out this morning, AT&T is buying Time Warner. There was this big lawsuit. The government was trying to stop it from happening and block the merger. The merger went through. So part of the reason why Fox was going to sell to Disney is because they didn't think that there would be any big regulatory problems from the government. A little while ago, Comcast had already made an offer. Like, this is a chart for the history of the Disney-Comcast-Fox deal. Comcast made an offer. Fox said, you know what? We think there's going to be some problems with this. The government might block it. Disney stepped in with more money on the table, but it was in stock form, so it wasn't like cash that they were just passing across in a giant bag across the table. But because of what happened during this AT&T Time Warner deal, Comcast is no longer afraid of the government blocking the deal. So they came back to the table with Fox, made an offer for even more cash. So listen to how crazy this deal is. So right off the bat, it's $65 billion in cash. Comcast is offering 19% more money than Disney is. So in addition to that, on top of that $65 billion they're giving them, they're also going to pay an additional $2.5 billion in case the government comes in later and breaks the deal up. Even more, about $1.5 billion to pay to Disney for Fox having to break their arrangement. Because as of right now, the Fox-Disney deal is almost done. Like, they're getting ready to sign paper on ink. So because they're currently closing, so if Fox wants to back out, they have to pay a penalty fee, which Comcast would foot the bill for, because they're the ones that are coming in trying to get Fox to break the deal with Disney. So all told, Comcast is trying to give Fox $70 billion in order for them to break their deal with Disney. But Disney has not countered with a different offer yet. There was supposed to be a meeting, so what everyone is expecting to happen is that Disney will come back to the table, they'll sweeten the deal just a little bit, and it'll drag things out. Which is why, people said that, even if the Disney deal goes through with Fox, then it wouldn't close until the end of summer next year. That's how long it would have taken originally had Comcast not stepped in. Now it might take even longer than that. Which is why when Kevin Feige was talking about Avengers 4 stuff, he said, I'm waiting by the phone for someone to tell me when I can use the X-Men characters. I've already done a video about that because he said a whole bunch of other stuff about Avengers 4 because he said we would see alternate versions of characters that we already know. Doesn't that also make you think of multiverse? Like, oh wow, they are really doubling down on this idea. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about the concept of the Avengers instead of just straight up trying to steal the gauntlet and the gems from Thanos in our reality, going to multiple other realities to assemble a gauntlet that way? If you're a big comic book reader, you're also probably wondering, wait a minute, are they changing the comics? Because the gems from other realities don't work in our own reality. In fact, there was an Infinity Prime Countdown comic book that just addressed this with the Collector and the Grand Master. They have the reality gem, but they bring in Peter Quill to see why it won't work. He can't figure it out. Like, okay, this is clearly an Infinity Stone. Why isn't it doing anything? Then Phyla-Vell, who's the daughter of Mar-Vell from another reality, ports in, takes it, and explains it's not working for you because this is the gem from my reality, and then promptly returns to her own reality with it. The only real answer I have for that is that the MCU has never really cared about the particulars of those kinds of comic book details, so I wouldn't be surprised if they changed that for the movie. Because right now that's the only way to explain how this twist would work, them going to alternate realities, grabbing different gems from all over the multiverse, and then using that to make it a gauntlet. But we all know that they can forge another one because Eitri has the mold sitting at the Space Forge. So what'll happen is as we get new information, I will totally do videos about everything. I'm not expecting any of this footage to post online. They also screened Captain Marvel footage, but it was mostly behind the scenes because they haven't quite finished filming that yet. That will probably be released later this year, maybe at Comic-Con, maybe sometime before October, but the Kids' Choice Awards is on Monday, so I'm expecting something to post then, maybe an Aquaman trailer. Congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Just B Channel. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. Click here for that Avengers 4 Kevin Feige teaser, and click here for the Wonder Woman 2 teaser. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.